Well, hello, and welcome to my latest video. We're in the garage, we're in the workshop, and I'm wearing the cap. What does the cap signify? Cap signifies Festina, isn't it? And Festina forever will be known as the team that got caught in one of those big dope scandals. And I don't know, how would you feel if you're a maker of watches and forevermore, for the next 500 years, people said, Festina, oh yeah, weren't they involved in that doping scandal? Anyway, that's nothing to do with this. The reason I'm wearing the cap, as you know, is I'm doing an unboxing, unpackaging even. Here is the package, piece of padded envelope. So let's get it open and let's get unpackaging. And what have we got in here? What has Julian got in his package? Let's just, what has he got in there? I'm struggling here. Got the old. Sorry, this is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Isn't quite what I expected. Aha! Look at this. Look at this. And you're thinking, well, we don't know what it is, Julian. You haven't shown it to us. Yeah, all right. Be patient. Be patient. This is single-use plastic, by the way. Now, I was thinking. Right, somebody said to me, the reason why it's called single-use plastic is you can only use it once, right? It can't be recycled into anything else. And I was thinking, well, not yet. But surely somewhere or other, there is a young student, even now, in their back room, working on how you can turn single-use plastic into something else. Oat milk, for example. What about that? I don't know how else you make oat milk. Now, this is Tubolito. Do you remember, did you ever see The Good, the Bad and the Ugly? Because I'm sure one of the Mexican baddies, and I'm not indulging in some wicked cultural stereotype here, I just think they were Mexican bandits, perhaps, rather than baddies. And one of them was called Tubolito, right? And Tubolito was played by great actor Lee Van Cleef. From the family of Vans, Ludwig van Beethoven. He was a rather famous musician from the 60s, and there was also a white van driver. But Lee Van Cleef was the actor, and he played Tubolito, the bandit. And when his acting career had finished, and the parts dried up, and he couldn't even get onto the bill or Casualty. He couldn't be a casualty in Casualty. Imagine if you're an extra or something, and what is your greatest job? Your greatest job is to be a casualty in Casualty, and not even a casualty who survives, but a casualty who dies. In other words, the only time you see you on screen is when you're dead, so you don't have any lines. Anyway, what is this? Tubolito is, for those of you who don't know, not just a Mexican bandit. Tubolito is a thermoplastic, I think it's thermoplastic, in a tube. And it is intended, or is, well, it's an inner tube for your tyre. Obviously, I don't use tubeless tyres. Anyone who uses tubeless tyres needs their head examined. I don't use tubeless tyres, as you know, and therefore I use inner tubes, and therefore I carry inner tubes. And because I get so many punctures, I generally carry about 9 inner tubes. So I thought Tubolito, being very light, supposedly, would be a good substitute for some of those heavy inner tubes that I generally carry. I'm just looking at the package here. This is quite a big one because this is the 30 to 47 mil tire fitting tube. So it's quite big. It's quite, what can I compare it to? Here is a normal butyl inner tube, that kind of thing that you're used to. The size is about the same. The weight doesn't feel all that much different. I've got to be honest. We're going to do a weight test shortly. Don't go away. But there should also be in this package, the Tubolito light strong compact. Road 2 times stronger, and this is the 18 to 28 mil version. Now, some of you will know that on my Fairlight Secan gravel bike, I am using gravel tyres, and I'm currently using Panaracer 38 SK Gravel King tyres with Tannus inserts, which are kind of foam rubber inserts designed to protect against punctures. Now, you still use an inner tube in there, so I thought if I got this smaller size inner tube, which is suitable for 18 to 28 mil tyres, the smaller inner tube could then go within the Tannus insert, and that would save me a lot of weight from carrying one of these heavier butyl inner tubes. So let me just take that out of the package so you can see what it's like. And there's a sort of elastic band around it there. So let's take that out of the package, and that is, I think you'll agree, quite a lot smaller. This is a 30 to 47 mil butyl inner tube, so it's quite a lot bigger. So I'll find you a normal inner tube, normal butyl inner tube of the same size, so we can compare the size. So don't go away. Back again. So here is a normal sized kind of 18-23 mil inner tube, and here is the Tubolito. So you can see it's quite a lot smaller, not massively lighter, but it's more the kind of package weight, because if you're going for a ride, you've got your various bits and pieces, your pump, your tire levers, your CO2, your copy of your favourite Shakespeare, whatever it is, but you want to save a little, or I want to save a little bit of space, whether it's in a saddle bag, or if it's in my back pocket, or handlebar bag, or frame bag, or rucksack, or a kind of bag on the back, saddle bag. Other bags are available, suitcase. You want to have something that's going to fit easily into a smaller bag. So this would fit easily into a smaller bag. This one is a lot bigger. It's about probably twice the size, in fact, and they are made. They've got this orange colour. The reason they're orange, by the way, is that Lee Van Cleef, who originally played Tubolito in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, his favourite colour was in fact green. So he decided to use orange as the very distinctive colour for his Tubolito tubes. But his eyesight was fading. He was a little bit colourblind. He thought they were green, but in fact they turned out to be orange. So that's why the Tubolitos are this very striking, very striking orange colour. And there is a little leaflet here, as usual. This leaflet is probably written in type that is too small for me to read. It's printed in 127 different languages, but none of them are of a print size that I can actually read. So I think some of these companies should remember, and you know, if they want to hire me as a consultant, reasonable fees, contact me on the normal email, then I'd be glad to give them some advice about how exactly the size of the print should be if you want to appeal to an audience of my vintage. So don't go away, because we're going to do the weight test. Wait, no, not that weight. We're going to do the weight test. So wait a moment for the weight test. It's coming. Okay, we've moved to the overhead cam. I love the overhead cam, and it took me ages to set up an overhead cam arrangement. So here I've got the weight, what do they call these? Scales. They call these scales. Now let's start. Right, I'm going to start here. I'm looking up at the overhead cam, but I don't think you can see me, but I think you can see. Can you see there now? You can see what I'm holding. This is the first big butyl inner tube for big fat tires that I showed you. I'm going to put that on there, and it weighs 141 grams. Can you see that? 141 grams. Just move that over a little bit. 140 grams. Oh, the weight's gone down by 1 gram while we've been watching. How about that? So let's take that off, and we'll put on Tubolito's fat tube. There it is, and that is 93 grams. So that's a weight saving of about 47 grams, which is quite a lot, I think you'll agree. And now if we use the smaller inner tube, and that weighs, can you see that, 106 grams, and the Tubolito smaller tube weighs 40 grams. So there's quite a big difference in the weight, and as you can see there's a big difference in the sizes. I'm looking up at the camera and I'm trying to work out what I'm doing. It's a little bit confusing. If you're as confused as I am, then you'll know exactly what you're looking at. The other thing you'll notice about the Tubolito tubes is that they have these orange valves. I have seen some stuff on the internet about this valve can split from the tube, or you can get leaks from the valve or whatever, and I suppose that's something that I'm going to have to find out about. So that's the weight test. We're going to move away from the my favorite overhead cam and go back to my normal cam. So don't go away, I'm just turning that off there, turning off the weight system and turning off. And here I am back with the normal camera. This is so exciting, isn't it? This is like a two-camera setup. You know, when you see in the movies, because when I used to be a film director, of course, and we'd have the two-camera setup and the two microphone setups. So on the overhead cam, I've got the camera up here with the microphone, and on this camera, I've got the front-facing camera here with the microphone on top. I mean, it is so exciting, isn't it? Well, you've got to do something. It's a fucking inner tube. I mean, it's an orange inner tube. It's a bit smaller. It's a bit lighter than a normal inner tube. Does it last any longer? Well, I don't know. And if I go out for a ride and I get a puncture in a Tubolito inner tube and this thing costs the best part of 20 quid, I'm going to be so pissed off. Because not only have I had to give up using tubeless tyres because they just don't work for me, I will then end up being, you know, you laugh at this because you would have expected it, that Julian, who is so useless at absolutely everything, is going to be the first person to get a puncture in his Tubolito inner tube. And I don't think you can't patch it with a normal kind of patching things. I mean, as you know, life is too short to patch an inner tube, but it ain't too short to patch a Tubolito tube because you paid 20 quid for the boxy thing. So I'm going to have to buy, I think, a separate patch kit or a few extra Tubolito inner tubes. I don't know. Anyway, so that is the Tubolito inner tube. The big fat version is this one, and the thinner svelte version. So this is the kind of Gemma Collins Tubolito, and this is the kind of Kate Moss Tubolito. Is that an impossibly terribly sexist, horrible thing to say, or is it fairly close to the truth? So this is the slimmer one. And this is a very light, very small packaging. This is the larger one, bit heavier, larger kind of pack size, if you like, perhaps inevitably. But it's made of this thermoplastic stuff. I'm rambling on now because I don't know what else to say about Tubolito. So hopefully at some stage I'll be able to give you a bit of a report back about the kind of rolling resistance, if you're interested in that nonsense, and whether it feels any different on the road in the tyres and all that kind of boring crap. But in the meantime, please remember that my videos raise money for the Vine Food Bank, which is in Croydon in the United Kingdom. If you occasionally enjoy these ramblings, I would be grateful if you subscribed, if you liked, if you share the hell out of it, if you tell all your friends, and make sure you tune in and watch my next video, whenever that will be, on a subject yet to be decided. So thanks for watching and see you next time.